my name is Paul, and this 2010 Ford Escape is getting new shocks and struts today. This is called a loaded strut. The strut already includes the spring, and this type of strut is easier and safer to install yourself than the kind that doesn't come with springs. And this is the rear shock. Nothing special about that, just a shock. This car rides pretty smooth, but it feels mushy in general. And when you hit a bump at an angle, the rear end wobbles to the side. And then when you hit a speed bump, you get kind of a second bounce after you've hit it from the back. I'm coming up on a speed bump now, I'll show you. So the back bounces a second time, meaning the rear shocks don't work. A good way to test the suspension is rock the car back and forth. If it keeps moving for a while, those shocks don't work. I like to use a wooden block with the jack to prevent bending the soft unibody metal. The jack stands go on the subframe where the control arms mount. I lifted the back of the car by the rear subframe and put the jack stands where the control arms bolt up. Be careful not to put the jack stands on the actual control arms because they will move when you take the jack out. I'll start with the back of the car. Use an impact wrench to loosen the lug nuts. If you don't have one, loosen the lug nuts before you lift the car. One thing that's annoying about some Ford vehicles is the chrome caps fall off the lug nuts. Good lug nuts take a 19mm socket, and the lug nuts without a cap take 18mm. Replacing the rear shocks is easy. Let's start here. Pull out the carpet and rear trim. This Ford Escape is the hybrid and has a big battery back here. Pull back the weather stripping and pop the panel out. I unhooked the front of the panel too, but it doesn't need to come out of the car. The right side is the same. Pull back the weather strip and loosen the panel. Release it in front and just leave it loose. The lower shock bolt takes a 15/16 inch socket. Support the spindle with a jack and disconnect the shock. This shock has two nuts on top. Hold one with a wrench and remove the other one with a socket. And this shock is ready to come out. Install the new shock onto the lower bolt, install the washer, then the nut. If you put it in pointing back instead of up, that's fine. Just compress the shock and move it. Install one washer and one rubber bushing on top of the shock. Lift the spindle up with the jack until the shock threads go in the hole. Install one rubber bushing, then a washer, then the nut. Have your friend hold the shock tube and tighten the nut inside the car. The lower nut gets torqued to 130 foot-pounds. Get the rear panel into place, snap in the front, then the back of it. Reinstall the rear trim and cargo mat. I did the other side too. Always replace shocks in pairs. The front struts are next. Hold the back of the sway bar link with a 17mm wrench and loosen the nut with a 15mm socket. Remove the ABS wire bracket and gently move the wire to the side. Pull the brake hose clip straight out and move the hose out of the way. The lower strut bolts and nuts take an 18mm socket. Wiggling the spindle will make it easier to pull the bolts out of the strut. You might need a hammer or pry bar if the car is rusty. Take out the four nuts on top and the strut is ready to come out. Push the spindle down with your foot to make more room and be careful not to snag the brake hose or ABS wire on the way out. Make sure the arrow points to the outside of the car and move the new strut into place. Watch the top of the strut so you don't scratch your fender. Start the nuts by hand. Using an electric impact driver is okay, but the final tightening should always be done by hand. Now let's connect the strut to the spindle. Put a punch or screwdriver in the top hole to hold it, then wiggle as you push the lower bolt in. Replace the punch with the upper bolt and thread the nuts on. This car doesn't have camber adjustment bolts. If the car needs camber adjustment, you can replace the upper bolt with a camber adjuster bolt. Remember to connect the ABS wire bracket to the new strut and install the brake hose too. Gently tap the clip into place with a hammer. The stabilizer link goes in next. Hold the back with a 17mm wrench and torque the nut to 46 foot-pounds. Use the torque wrench on the nut side of the lower strut bolts and torque to 85 foot-pounds. The easy way to install the wheel is just sit on the ground and hold it in place with your feet. Thread the lug nuts on by hand first so you don't accidentally cross-thread them. Don't use an air impact wrench here because you might over-tighten the lug nuts. Okay, we're almost done. Get the car off the jack stands. With the car on the ground, we can now torque all the lug nuts to 100 foot-pounds. Remember to switch to the smaller socket for any lug nuts that are missing the chrome cap, or just go to the store and buy some new lug nuts to replace the bad ones so you don't have this problem. That's it! Replacing the shocks and struts on the Ford Escape is very easy. This is one of those jobs you can do yourself and save some money. Now let's do that shake test. And it looks like this car stopped moving sooner than it did before. Now one more thing before you go. This car needs an alignment. Anytime you work on the suspension in your car, you need to take it to the shop and get it aligned afterwards. You may have noticed the front struts do not have camber adjuster bolts, so theoretically, the new struts fit back in the same way that they came out. However, there could be a difference in ride height, there could be slight variations in the dimensions of the aftermarket struts, and the only way to compensate for that is by getting an alignment.